Hello everyone and welcome. So this is going to be a little bit of a different video. Just want to narrate to you what went down actually. As you can see, this is not, those who know about the A320 airplane know that this is not a common configuration. I'm at an odd altitude with some weird PFD readings, no autopilot, no auto thrust. Goes against normal operation. Yes, so this is something which I wanted to do because I just got myself into a bit of a pickle while I was on approach to Denver today. So let me just set up the scenario. So right now I'm flying towards. Just give me a moment. Let me get back up to that altitude that I was supposed to maintain. All right. So yeah, here's the thing. So this was a flight from Phoenix to Denver, and weather at Phoenix, it was really good, clear skies, calm, calmish winds, 15 to 16 degrees centigrade. Upon taking off, well, incidentally, after pushing off of the gate from Phoenix, I had a PTU fault. But that went away. I just engaged the electric pump and all that for a bit. That seemed to have fixed it. But then after that, there was no incident with the hydraulics, and the hydraulics seem to be working well even now. But while I was on final into Denver, it was a very low visibility approach, almost zero visibility. Colorado has 5 miles right now, but Denver had a quarter of a mile. Let me just pull that up once again. Denver's quarter of a mile with 330 at 14 knots, and it was overcast clouds and icing conditions as well at 0 degrees centigrade. Colorado, however, it's a little better in terms of the visibility. You do have snow. It's a little windier, about 17 knots, gusting to 27. But the situation in terms of the visibility is much better. So what happened was that I was at flaps 2 and then flaps 3 and flaps full, and I saw that my speed was not reducing at all. The PFD IIS indicator was stuck at 180 knots. It was just stuck, and I did not quite know why. I was thinking that I was not losing speed for some reason because there was like sudden wind changes and all of that. But then it was frozen, right? So I was a little bit confused as to what was going on. And what was even more alarming was that I tried pulling the speed brake a little bit just to see if there was a reaction, and there was none. And that's when I knew that something was really bad. Because I was not looking at the time at the ground speed over here or any other indication. I was just looking at the standby airspeed, which was also showing me the same value, and the FO airspeed, which was also showing me the same value. And I was not sure what exactly was going on. So it was something that made me remember that these things might be getting data from different like reference systems. And I also had the engine and wing anti-ice on, but I did not have the probe and window heat. So I was under the assumption that this works automatically, unless you need to. I did not know that I did not realize that you might have to switch it on manually like the Boeing or something, but that didn't make a difference either. Now I'm out of the clouds, and this thing is still iced up. If icing is indeed the issue or not something else. So as you can see, this airspeed over here is frozen, but I do have some data coming from here. Well, clearly I'm not falling out of the sky, so I'm going to be trusting this ground speed number for my approach. And because of that, you cannot use the auto throttle because it's going to be using, it's going to be using the, now if you let me just go move it to speed cluster over here. It's going to keep trying to increase it because it's taking data from the PFD, although you're going much faster than what this thing thinks. So it's using the wrong data. So you're not getting any overspeed, any warnings. All of the warnings are disabled. You should be getting that at this altitude, at this ground speed, I suspect. But you don't quite get it yet. I mean, we were just below the margin, I believe. Just pull up again. So after doing a go around out of Denver, I performed a holding pattern just outside of the airport in the missed approach procedure, and then I started seeing if this would be using the pitot heat, probe heat, would fix the situation. I did not get any ECAM alerts, which was again strange, and I am not familiar. I've not had this kind of error or bug in the system. It could be a bug with Phoenix as well, but it could be a legit 320 bug where their airspeed is not reliable. So I did look up some documents on unreliable airspeed. The best thing was to switch off the autopilot and auto thrust and go above to a safe altitude, a circuit altitude, and do some troubleshooting. So I do have to do some more procedures for getting some protections. Let me just go over this. This is going to be pretty interesting. So troubleshooting and isolation. We do have some memory items. The memory items are all completed. I switched off the autopilot. I switched off auto thrust, and I've leveled off and done whatever troubleshooting I can. So basically, at the clean, below flight level 240, you need to maintain, for a speed of 250 knots, you need to maintain a pitch of 2.4 degrees or 2.4 to around 1.8 to 2.4 degrees with a thrust of 60% N1. So let me just go here, 2.4 degrees with a thrust of 60% N1. That would give me 250 knots. Let me get some altitude again. So I do have enough fuel, which is the good news. Still 3,540 pounds. That's going to be enough for quite a bit of time. So 1901 UTC, I'll still be left. Like I have more than 30 minutes of time left to troubleshoot this. So I'm going to get us to that configured table value of 2.4 degrees and about 60% N1. Let's see if I can level off. 60% N1, 2.4 degrees, and I'm going to keep it at this attitude. Yeah, straight and level, pretty good. So I'm going to assume we're somewhere close to 250 knots IAS, and so in situations, what does it say? So I just have one screen, so I'm going to have to read this and also do the troubleshooting. Make sure that I'm reading and doing the troubleshooting while also having a reasonable ground speed, make it constant almost. I'm going to hover it around 300 knots. That's where it's settled initially. That's a good estimate. I think. So this, I'm doing it without any prep, guys. I could be wrong about a bunch of stuff here. It'll be kind of funny to see how this went about, because this was totally unexpected and I've not been reading the manuals. I've not read the Airbus manuals in a long time. So let me see how this goes. So let me see. Let me just get us. We might actually be. I need to level off a little bit. This guy's going to lose an altitude. In situations where most primary flight data are erroneous, some indications may still remain correct and should consequently be used to help the crew stabilize the flight path. Yes, this is the case for the flight path vector, reliable if the static ports are not blocked, and for the GPS altitude displayed on the MCDU when GPS is installed. Alright, so that's pretty good because I do have that, and let me go probably use the GPS mode on the 320. I think it should have it here somewhere. No, I think it was on data. It's on data. So data, we have GPS is giving us an estimate. Okay, GPS data is giving us. So GPS works, but then your pitot is failing, right? So your ground speed is okay. You're pretty much flying with GPS data. And GPS altitude of 11,800, you know, which is interesting. So we have 12,100 here. And let me just switch to the Colorado QNH, Colorado Springs QNH, 29903. And we're having approximately like a few 100 feet of deviation from what is detected. I'm going to maintain this ground speed. All right, I'm going to keep reading, guys. I'm going to keep reading. So the next part of this tells me when the flight path is stabilized, the flight crew will start troubleshooting. I've already done that, keeping in mind that 2 or even all 3 ADRs, I think this is air data reference, might provide identical but erroneous data. Okay, there's a fuel wing tank low level warning. So let me just, if no fuel leak, cross feed on. Okay, I don't think there's any fuel leak. I'm gonna do that. Okay, let's see if I can get descending. Engine mode selector, ignition. When the fuel tank required. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna switch this off as well. And we need to be at 8,000 feet. We need to start descending soon. I'm gonna see if I can get visual on the airport though. Still a little bit bad visibility. I'm gonna get us a target rate of descent of about 900 to 1,000 feet per minute. Go heading 170. 170. So that's going to be giving us a nice shallow descent. I'm going to keep that GS at around hovering around 290 to 300 knots. Not going to exceed that. It's going to help with that fuel situation as well. So again, this is not standard procedure, guys. I'm just learning about this air data reference and all of that as I go, because I do not have ECAM actions here. So, and I don't. The QRH is in the FENIX tablet, but we don't have like easy access to what part of the QRH you want to look at. Like, there's no chapters and stuff like that, so I'm not used to that either. So I mean, there's like so many things to learn about here, and I'm getting the land ASAP warning as well. All right. Gonna get us 180 degrees. And let me see. So get some thrust in. So we are flying mostly with GPS. I really don't know. Let's see. Backup speed scale. Alright, so, but before that, there's some pitch and thrust table over here. I'm just going to assume everything is faulty, and I'm going to just use the GPS speed. So gear up in level flight, config 0. What's your 60 to 52 tons? What's our weight? Our gross weight is 125.7. it's 57, so that's like one level below. So for config 1 plus F or config 2, I need to maintain about 7.5 degrees and 54.5% thrust. Okay. Let me go flaps 1. Okay, flaps 1 set. Let me go reduce the speed a little bit. Flaps 1 reference is 7.1 degrees and 55.5% thrust. Let me get to 8,000 feet first with idle thrust as quickly as possible. I'm going to maintain approximately 270 knots on the GS. This is crazy. The weather's kind of bad even here, so it's not like anything is too positive for us. Good news is we have the glide slope and localizer, so that's going to guide us in, even though we don't have autopilot. We go here, 264, 63, 62, level off, level off, level off. About 7 degrees nose up. And 55% thrust, about, let's keep it at 50%. Plus I'm banking as well, so I'll give it a little bit more juice. Cross speed on. Well, okay. I'm gonna clear these warnings, ground spoiler on. I'm gonna get us localizer, approach, armed. Okay, I think we need to capture the loc first. Do we have the runway in sight? That's another big one. That's gonna be super important. Do have another field below me. GS and localizer star. Gonna get us down a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna just fly this by. I'm gonna see if I can get my regular thrust settings about 55%. I'm gonna configure a little bit as well.
2,500.
So I'm not getting any warnings at all because there's no conversion from that ground speed to the kind of a prediction for the indicated airspeed, which is kind of scary if you think about it. I mean, like, it's important to be able to get that, but the fact that we don't have any ECAM actions or any diagnosis makes us, we're literally kind of blind on what's actually going on. Let me get flaps full. We're at a low enough ground speed. Ooh, overspeed. Okay. Oh, wow! I got my speed back. That's interesting. That's really weird. That's super weird, guys. Okay. I mean, I'm still going to be landing in Colorado Springs because I don't have the fuel to go to Denver right now. But can I still rely on this? That's the question. Okay, I have gusty winds. I could go flap 3 here. But
1,000.
I want to keep things as normal as possible, so I'm going to keep flaps full. I'm going to give us a little bit more speed. Give me that speed. It's kind of gusty out here, but it's not bad. I'm able to handle this pretty well. Flying runway 35 left, a little bit to the right, a little bit low, and a little bit slow as well. I was able to feel losing that energy, which is a good thing. I still have a feel for the dynamic. I know how this bird flies, so I know when I'm getting too slow, for example.
Don't sink.
There you go. It's saying, give me don't sink. That's
Don't
interesting.
sink.
Okay.
100 above.
Don't sink.
Interesting. I don't trust the...
Don't sink.
Well, I'm glad that I don't have the...
Don't sink. Don't sink.
Weird. I wish I could suppress this warning.
Don't sink.
I don't know why that's happening either.
Minima.
Don't sink.
Okay, I'm gonna see if I can land her here because...
Don't sink. Don't sink. Don't sink.
40, 30, 20.
Don't
retard.
sink.
Retard. Retard.
Oopsie. That was a bounce. Alright, I think I might have to go around, guys. Look at the response on that engine. Okay. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna disable GPWS. Okay, 400 feet. Let me see if I can do a quick spin. That landing was about 500 feet per minute, guys. That's crazy. Well, that was not a landing. That bounce was 500 feet per minute. I mean, I was coming in too fast. Nothing was reliable. I was getting conflicting messages. It felt like I was too slow. I applied too much thrust and I came in too fast or too high. So that was pretty interesting. I think that landing gear needs to be inspected after we land. Let's just put it that way. Descend a little bit, see if I can get on the glide, go for a little bit of a short approach here. Go flaps full, gear down. What's the predicted landing speed here for us? Activate approach phase, confirm. V approach 131, VLS 126. So I think 146 knots would be good in this wind because we don't have GS Mini. Get us down a little bit. This morning. like the Washington D.C. river visual approach. Although the turn is much later in that one, this is a much easier approach comparison.
500. Hundred above. Minima.
The ILS is also
100.
misaligned.
Fifty, 40, 30, 20. Retard.
There's winds going
10.
across now.
5.
Well, that was a safe-ish landing. The first one was a horror show. But yeah, we got her on the ground. Hopefully not too much of destruction to this Frontier Airbus A320.
For safety and the safety of those around you, please remain seated with your seatbelt fastened until the aircraft comes to a complete stop at the gate and the captain turns off the fasten seatbelt sign. Please.
Wow. What was the landing rate on this one? 200 feet per minute. Not bad.
Information. If this is your final destination, thank you.
Well, that's not the right announcement for this one. Should we like thank the captain?
We had a pleasant flight with us, and we look forward to welcoming you again on another frontier.
Well, that was eventful. Alright guys, this is about it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much.